when I was very, very first learning React, actually the very first time I saw React, I thought it was gross. I thought it was gross because why would I want to put HTML inside my JavaScript? Why do I want to have this extra transpiled language? There's a bunch of like really weird feelings that I got about it, and I just pushed all the feelings down, which was what my therapist told me to do. I'm kidding. Don't do that. But I'm going to explain to you why I think those things are okay, but we're going to start with no transpilation step, no JSX, no Babel, no Webpack, no Parcel, nothing like that. We're going to be writing raw JavaScript React, just to show you that it's possible. And I wish someone would have taught it to me like this, because you'll see that JSX and React are not doing any sort of black magic. It's just regular old JavaScript function calls, and it's my opinion that you want to understand your tooling, because if you don't understand your tools, then you resent them, right? Because they just seem to add complexity. But if you understand the problem that the tools are solving, then you embrace the complexity because it gives you ease of use, right? So that was kind of my problem with JSX, is I resented it because I didn't understand it. So hopefully here I can teach you what it does, and then you can understand why it exists, because it's really annoying to write React like this. But you can. Okay. So what I want you to do, I'm just going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to make a directory. Actually, we'll even just do it this way. I'll just say new folder right there, and this is going to be called the Adopt Me project. Choose a different name. Well, I'm just going to delete that one then. All right, move to trash. All right, this one is going to be called adopt-me, because that's going to be what we're going to be building today, pet adoption application. Okay? And then I'm going to open this with Visual Studio Code. All right. Okay, so now I'm inside of this Adopt Me folder with nothing in it. I'm going to create a new directory inside of here. So it's going to be src is the name of the directory that I just created. There's no reason you have to structure a React project this way. This is just a way that I'm habituated to writing code. So, okay, inside of here, I'm going to create a new file, and it's going to be called index.html. Now, the first trick here that I'm going to show you with Visual Studio Code is a little thing called emit. So if I put HTML:5, and you can see that I have this auto-completion coming out, and if I hit tab, it's going to autocomplete out to like a scaffold of a HTML file. Because I can't remember everything that needs to go in an HTML file, right? I literally have to Google this every single time that I do it. So that's what that does. And I'll be using emit a little bit more as we go on, and I'll call that out so you can see it. But you can see the entire cheat sheet at emit.io. It's not something that VS Code invented, so you can put emit into like Sublime and JetBrains and stuff like that. But it is built in off the bat. Okay, and this is going to be called Adopt Me, so that's what I'm going to call the title. Okay, so here inside the body, I'm going to put a couple of tags. The first one is I'm going to put one called root. So you can see there I just wrote the CSS selector for root, which I want it to be a div, right? So I do #root, and then I hit tab, and it's going to complete that out to a div. Now, just so you know, emit is way more complicated than that. You can do crazy stuff with emit. I just use like the lazy abbreviations, and that's mostly it. Okay, so I have div with an ID of root, and I'm going to put not rendered inside of that. The reason why I do that is because if I see not rendered, I know that the React application didn't start. But if it did start, then it's going to replace everything inside of this div. Okay. Underneath this, I'm going to put two script tags. So I'm going to put script::src, like that. Autocomplete out to a script tag. And we're going to put two URLs here. So one of them is going to be https://unpkg.com. This is a CDN for npm packages, which is just a fancy way of saying that there's a bunch of JavaScript files that are unpackaged, and it will pull these off of the npm registry. So I'm going to pull off of the registry React, and I'm going to grab a specific version, so 16.8.4. I think 6 is the latest version as of filming of this, but we're going to stick with 4 because that's all my notes are using 4, so let's just stick with that. Okay, and React to 16.8.4 /umd /react.development.js. So what this is going to do, this is going to go out to the CDN, grab this file, which is a compiled React file, and it's going to load this as a top-level React variable, so you can use React. Okay, we're going to need another one of this, so I'm going to copy this and paste it underneath it again, and then I need to change 2 things. One of them here, the React, I'm going to put this React-DOM like that. And then I'm also, where it says react.development.js, I'm going to put react-dom.development.js, right? So I changed this in 2 places. Okay, and this is going to load a second library, which is going to be the React DOM library, which allows you to render React to the browser. Now, why is there 2 packages? That seems a little confusing, right? Well, some of you may be familiar with a project called React Native. So React Native and React DOM both share the React package. This React is just like, it's a very small, like 2 kilobyte package of how to interact with React, right? So it has like all of the top level methods that you're going to call. And then React DOM is actually the large one that takes all that stuff out of the React package and renders it to the browser. By the same token, you would load React, and then React Native would actually load it into your Android or iOS app. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's why there's 2 different packages there. Underneath that, we're going to put a third script tag. And we're going to do what you should never do, which is we're going to write JavaScript directly in our HTML. Now, the reason why I show you how to do this is because I wanted to show you that this can be super bare bones, right? We're going to fix this in a little bit, but for now, I just want you to write this. Your code is going to go here. For now. Oops. Stop that. Now that I've done this, save this file, right? And I want you to go over to your favorite browser. Mine happens to be Firefox. And I'm going to go here and say File, Open. Open File, right there. Let's do this in a new directory here. File, Open File. And I'm going to navigate to my directory, which is on my desktop. I'm going to find adopt.me, source, and index.html. And I open this in my browser. And you should see something that says not rendered, right? Because we haven't actually done anything yet. We've just loaded the libraries. But I'm going to open my console here. Make this a little bit bigger. You don't have to do this. I'm just showing you. If I go in here to my console and I say React, now this is defined because we loaded that, right, with one of the script tags. Same thing here with React DOM, also defined because we loaded this off of the CDN. Right? It makes sense of how all that is plumbed together? Cool. All right. The next thing I want you to do is we're going to go grab the CSS. This is definitely not a course about CSS, so we pre-wrote all of the CSS for you so that you don't have to write it. So if you just follow our conventions and naming patterns, you're going to get all the styling for free. And I'm not telling you any of you to look at the CSS or think it's like the way that you should write CSS. There's no commentary intended from the CSS. So if you go here into the class notes, you're going to see here about a third of the way down, you'll need to grab the CSS file. We wrote it so you don't have to. Download it here. And actually, Tanner wrote it, so thank you, Tanner. So if you click download it here, it should take you to this file, which is, you can see here is actually on the GitHub. And I'm just going to Command A, select everything and copy it. And then I'm going to go back over to my project here, create a new file in the source directory called style.css, and paste all that business in there. And save it. Okay, here inside of the head tag, I'm going to put link, which is going to complete out to this, and I'm going to put /style.css. Cool. So now we should be able to go back to our adopt me, refresh the page, and now it looks a lot nicer. We've got little chickens and beetles in the background. It's very pleasant.